In this GeoGebra tip, we want to create a sequence of points that divides a line segment into a variable number of equally sized sub-segments. That is, we want the following. We have a line segment A, B, there's A, and we have a number N, which is on a slider, so it's a variable. And we want to create this list here of these black points here that divide the line segment into equally sized pieces. So right now there's 5 pieces, 4 black points, or 1 piece, no black point, or 10 pieces, 9 black points. So how do we do this? Let's create a line segment. Get our line segment tool. Click off the axis so our points are free. So one here and another here. That makes 3 points. Let's hide the name of the line segment. And we need a slider with a variable number of points. The minimum number of pieces we can have is 1. So when we make our slider N, it needs to go from 1 to say 10. And pieces are whole numbers, so our increment is 1. So N is 1, 10, 1. And we apply. And let's move it over so we have something going on. Let's say to 5. Now, how do we make our sequence? A sequence is a list of objects of the same type, in this case points, that are generated by a formula with a counter. What size are our pieces? Our pieces are B minus A divided by N. And we want them to start being written at the point A. So let's come down here in the input box, start typing the command sequence SEQ. We see the command we want, hit enter to go between the brackets, and now we need to start at A, we're writing our formula, plus B minus A divided by N. That would give us our first point here. We need to have more points. So what we do is we multiply it by a counter. We're going to use the letter K. We used to use the letter I because that's now reserved for complex number. We'll use the letter K. That's our whole formula. Comma. Now we tell GeoGebra that our counter is called K. So the next variable after the comma is the K, the letter we're using for our counter. And then we tell it we want it to start with K equal to 1. And we want another comma. We want it to end with N minus 1, where N is the name of our slider. Let's see if that gives us what we want. So we have formula, including counter, name of counter, counter beginning value, counter end value. Let's hit enter. And we see we got a list here of points. And as we change slide N, whoops, now the list is empty because we haven't divided the interval. Now we could have gone from 0 to N if we wanted these points to be doubled. We only wanted inside points in this particular example. But we could have gone from 0 to N and had included the N points. Okay, so you see how to make the sequence. Now let's make another one just like that. Up here. We'll make it from C to D. And notice we have bad values for C and D. Doesn't matter. Hide the name of the segment. And let's do the same thing again. So we start typing sequence. There's our command. Hit enter. Now our first point is C plus D minus C divided by N. We're going to divide it into the same number of points. We can use our same letter counter. The counters are local. They work for that particular sequence. Again, comma. The name of our counter is K. We want it to go from 1 to N minus 1. And we're done. And now we have a sequence of points on the other segment. Now let's say we wanted to join these with line segments. So now we're going to make a segment using elements from this list and elements from that list. So, but it's still a sequence, right? We still need to have a variable number of segments. So again, we start typing sequence, hit enter. So now our objects are segments here. I don't think we can hit enter. I think we have to go between the brackets. So you have to keep very careful track of the brackets. In GeoGebra 4, the brackets will be colored, which is very helpful. Segment, and now we want to take an element from the first list. So we got the element, go between those brackets. List 1, we want the kth element from it. Now we get out of that bracket, and that's the first point. That's this one right here. We want to go to that element. We want to draw a line segment between these two. So we start typing element again, go between the brackets, list 2, comma, k. So now that's our segment thing. Segment going from the kth element of this list to the kth element of that list. So now we get out of element, out of segment, and now we're to our counter. What's our counter name? K. And again, 1, 2, there's a comma there, and minus 1. There we go. And the way we set this up, we can do lots of different things with it, right? And we can move all of our points. We can stretch it or make them nice and even, right? And we have seen how to use sequences.